For example 4, it's just a proof that we're going to work through. Third angles theorem, it says if two angles of one triangle are congruent to two angles of another triangle, then the third angle is congruent. Okay, so here these match up, which means that C and F have to match up. That's what it's saying. Okay, so I went ahead and filled in part of the proof down here. It had these two parts that were given, so we can go ahead and fill in that these are given. And then lastly, we know that we are trying to prove that the triangles are congruent here. So I'm going to go ahead and list that down here in 5. So triangle LMN is congruent to triangle LON. Okay, we don't know why yet. Okay, so I did those in red because those things we are given up here in this information. Alright, so it says LM is congruent to LO. Okay? MN is congruent to ON. So we were given sides. So what is the only side not given to us? Well, that would be LN. And as you can see, LN is shared by both triangles. So we could say that LN is congruent to itself because of the reflexive property of equality. And we discussed that in Unit 3. Okay, then we are given some angles. So we're given that angle M and angle O are congruent. We are also given that angle MLN, so this angle here, and angle OLN, so this angle here, these two angles, are congruent. Okay, which is true. Okay, so now, if we know that these two and these two are congruent, we can conclude by the third angles theorem that these two are congruent. Okay, so we know we're going to use the third angle theorem. It's just how to name those angles. So if I have to talk about this angle here, I'm going to say angle MNL is congruent. Okay, now I'm talking about this angle to ONL by the third angles theorem. Okay, now that we know that all the different parts, all the sides are congruent to each other, they all match up, all of the angles match up and are congruent to each other, we can now say that the two triangles are congruent by the definition of congruent triangles.